Hello and welcome to the Hoop Troop podcast. I am Matt O'Connor, and joining me as they will on all of our shows are my cousin Luke Drobner.
What's up, guys?
My brother Mike O'Connor.
What is up?
Mark Pump, who's missing from the video for now, but he's coming back.
I'm coming into frame right now.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Terrifying.
We've all been waiting for a demon in the night.
In his dimly lit room.
It's dark and grainy in there.
There's no light. It's just from the window. I'm gonna edit in applause too for when I enter. There's gonna be some real applause. Hey guys,
putting some serious time into the podcast. I see editing, doing actual crap for our 10 listeners.
It's just
we actually have more than 10 listeners.
It's 10 different times.
I mean, I do listen to our recordings, so like it's
listen to them in their entirety.
I'll listen to them just to see how dumb I sound.
I give it a run through. I get high on our own supply and see.
There's a degree of narcissism that goes with it, but sure.
For sure. I don't think I've listened to a single one, but
I can't say I blame you.
Matt, what's going on with your setup there? Because you got the mic.
Oh yeah, so I'm in my basement. My dad works down here usually, so I kicked him out. Sure. There's not many places in my house that have good Wi-Fi, and this is one of them, and he's just always down here. So like I can't record in my room because it won't work. I could record at our kitchen table, which I've been doing the past few times, but like I literally take control of our entire main floor to do that. Or that's really about it. So I had to come down here to do this. I guess I could go outside, but that's a whole dangerous experiment.
An outdoor app would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, maybe. But so yeah, for now I'm in like my dad's lawyer setup of a basement.
That's awesome, man. I'm trying to figure out my lighting here, but you guys keep going.
I think it's working for you. Whatever the hard, harsh light on the left side of your face, it's working.
Yeah, there's a pretty big fall off, but you know.
Good side anyway.
Say that again, Luke.
It's the good side, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's the one that still has this. It's not a sty. Dermatologists, doctors hate them. They don't know what that is. They said I strained too hard.
Strained too hard?
I strained too hard.
Were you like pooping and you just popped a blood vessel?
I don't know. And it's also, I guess I strained my face hard because my dermatologist was just like, there's nothing going on here. There's nothing to drain. It's just like, you just have burst blood vessels in your face for some reason, on your face for some reason.
Can you get rid of it, or is that just going to be there forever?
Well, they were like, it'll go away on its own. If it doesn't, come back and we'll like do some laser shit on it.
Is that worst case?
Sorry?
Is that worst case? They're saying like worst case, we'll take the laser. We'll go
right.
Laser route.
I go worst case. I go under the knife.
Whoa.
They knock me out a full day and a half. No, yeah, it's just look. It's one of those things that just happens in these unpredictable times, the new normal. Sometimes your face gets a new normal in the middle. But anyway, I'm glad that we could figure out the lighting. I'm glad that my doctors can't figure out my face. And
all right. Hot start. This is what everyone needs to be hearing right now.
For sure.
All right. Luke, go for it.
The leaders in games played. You know, RJ Barrett has played the most games out of everybody.
Not surprised. Tibbs just runs everyone into the ground.
He actually only plays 34 minutes a game.
Wait,
well, it's going down. Yeah.
Out of everyone in the league, he's the leader in games played.
Yeah, he's the leader in games started. He started all 5 games.
Okay.
He's 25th in minutes played per game.
I wouldn't be surprised if Randall's up there too. He plays the two of them just a ton.
Randall's tied for first in minutes with Harden, 37 a game.
Yeah, makes sense.
But is 34? I don't know anything. Is that a lot?
Yeah.
He played 3 quarters.
What's average?
Well, think about it. Just break it down. It's a 48-minute game. Like if you're going to be playing, I don't know, 8 minutes per quarter, you're going to end up at 32 minutes a game, which like that's a good chunk.
It's true.
So, Mike, why do you look so tan, man?
Freaking flew down to Florida and was in a retirement community for a week.
Is this real?
It is real.
Okay, because that'd be a solid bit if you weren't.
No.
Yeah, wow, you got super tan.
So I was running into just an existential crisis with work. Didn't know what to do. My parents, fully vaxxed, were like, "We're going down to the retirement community that our grandparents own but aren't in."
Right. Own but aren't they own a retirement community? Like they own the whole community?
It's like a condo in it. Yeah.
Okay, so an individual unit. All right.
They were like,
Understood.
"It's like geriatric central, a block from the beach. You want to just go down there, even though you're working, and like get away for a second." So I ventured down. I just worked from there, but it was just a change of pace. And now I'm back, kind of staying alone in my apartment.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm in like the teens, the quarantine stage.
Oh, like returning from travel quarantine stage?
Yeah. I'm just kind
No,
of.
you're fully vaxxed though. They're still making Cuomo's breathing down your tan neck.
I just kind of am minding my own business. I like again. I'm kind of acknowledging the position of like a lot of people can't do what I did or wouldn't have done what I did. So I'm just trying to appreciate that or something.
Did you have to prove that you were double vaxxed before they let you in with all those old people?
And when I tell you, did I even come into contact with like within 15 feet of anybody the whole time? No. Like I was not close to anyone. It was so bizarre. There was nobody
Yeah, I
there.
mean, save it for the judge. Save it for your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
The funniest part of this, though, I didn't go with the other three legs of my family, but I kept getting
shows, yeah.
I'm pale and I have a Lord Farquaad haircut, but no, I would get texts like every day, and like they were like walking and seeing wilderness and like alligators and stuff. My dad would send videos of pelicans, and they were like the worst videos I've ever seen. Like they'd hardly be in them, but he'd be like the Pelican Palooza or like whatever. You'd see one pelican.
To describe my week, I would work like my regular work hours and then join them for like a walk on the beach, and these pelican every day. It's just what I did, like an old person. And the pelicans would fly by and they would flip out. They just were going nuts for the pelicans. That they would fly overhead and it's really cool. They dive down and like gulp up the fish. It's cool.
It's sick. Yeah. I mean, I'm with your parents. It sounds amazing. Do you think you had a better time without Matt?
Probably.
He hates the stuff. I would have enjoyed your company, but he would.
I mean, in the middle of
your
old person
parents?
central, I'm probably essential. Yeah.
What if I asked them? They're like, man,
they were like, thank God we left him behind.
Right. I would imagine.
But
anyway, yeah, minutes played is Randall.
Oh well, speaking of Pelicans, we got Zion popping off. He just broke Shaq's record for most. What was it? Most 25-point games or something at a certain percentage or something. I forget what he just broke. He broke some record for being good.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I got there.
That one dunk down the lane that everyone kept replaying over the past few days. It was from a game like 3 days ago. I forget who they were playing, but
he's just kind of ridiculous in that everyone knows what he's going to do. He can only score at the rim. Also, Mark, you just spoke through a burp. That was pretty impressive.
I've got a lot on my plate. I'm actively sweating, like my lower body. I was like sprinting home to make it. I lost track of time in the park. I was running around with the other dogs, and yeah, like my whole lower body, like my jeans are just absolutely glued to me. I'm talking through burps. I'm sweating. I'm trying to figure out lighting. This is an absolute train wreck.
What are you gonna do?
You guys watch Godzilla vs. King Kong?
Of course I did.
Of course. Although
no, Mike.
No, I watched it.
Oh, I forced my family to watch it. Well, kind of. They didn't have to.
You watched it with your parents?
Well, I wasn't going to, but then they just kind of like were like, "What are you watching?" And they were like, "We want to hang out." And I was like, "Well, I'm watching this tonight, so it's either you're watching this or we're not hanging out." And so they watched it. Right. They hated it. I loved it.
Luke, have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. They totally hyped up King Kong at the beginning. I was really expecting.
Well, it was a King Kong movie. It wasn't a Godzilla movie.
It was a Kong movie.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I watched it, but I was high.
Fair.
And I don't know who won. Like I got halfway. At some point it was
who won or
no. I don't know what happens after Brian Tyree Henry and Millie Bobby Brown fall through the earth into Hong Kong or something. Like that's basically what I gathered. That
there's
Hong Kong through the earth.
there's some weird, like they really do steer right into the Hollow Earth theory,
Sure. Which is real and true.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That is something that the Hoop Troop podcast stands by.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's obviously there are so many plot holes in it, but like it rocks. I liked it.
Okay, can I just like I've not confirmed this. I've not finished the movie and I've not read anything about it. But obviously they were setting it up. So like again, this is like I greened out about when they're falling into Hong Kong. Like I was just like in and out of consciousness and okay. So they're setting up like the Godzilla. Also the girl who can like with Kong. No, wait, is it Godzilla?
No, it's Kong.
The little girl who
she's deaf.
Yeah, and then King Kong can do sign language, and that's kind of stupid. Anyway, but there was like the other Millie Bobby Brown's character being like, Godzilla doesn't just attack. Godzilla's a good guy. He doesn't.
Godzilla is a good guy.
I'm sure he is. Well, they're clearly setting it up to where it's like, oh, someone's making Godzilla, some evil man, some evil human is making Godzilla be mean and to try and like stage this fight, this Godzilla versus Kong. So I'm sure that there isn't like a winner between one of them, and that
do you want me to tell you?
I swear to God,
you're close.
I'm not cheating.
You obviously have the right idea, but like there's kind of like I don't know. There's a few times where they fight. Each of them kind of wins one of them. Then Godzilla pretty much beats Kong, but lets him live. But then it turns out that the humans are making like a big metal titan of like Godzilla. It's like a big metal Godzilla, and they kind of have to team up to go beat that one.
I feel like a regular Godzilla could already beat metal human Godzilla.
No, man-made. If you watched the previous Godzilla movies in King of Monsters, yeah, of course. Now
I was with you, and the exact same scenario that played out with this Godzilla versus Kong played out like a year and a half ago in your apartment with Godzilla King of the Monsters, but whatever.
But they're somehow like siphoning off the energy from a dragon from a past episode, from a past movie.
And which dragon?
The 3-headed one?
Ghidorah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But so they use that to power their metal one. That thing gains consciousness of its own.
All right.
I started.
No, that's cool.
And
I'm so
so that turns against the humans and against Godzilla and King Kong. But King Kong also like can use his hammer. I don't know. There's all sorts of ridiculous things that go on.
King Kong is no longer an ape; he's more like a Neanderthal.
He's pretty with it. He's evolved quite a bit. Yeah, we definitely have skipped some steps.
No longer just a monkey.
Well, yeah, and then also it's just
God.
There's some ridiculous plot holes in it, which we don't have to necessarily get into. I'll let you watch it more.
Let's get into one. Let's get into one plot hole.
One plot hole. All right.
Yeah, pick your favorite.
At one point in the movie, my favorite. All right, fine. So at one point in the movie, King Kong is like in Hollow Earth, like somehow reuniting with his people-ish, like his
because King Kong's from kingdom. Yeah,
Kong's the Hollow Earth. Yes,
everybody knows that.
But so he's down there, whatever, and somehow Godzilla finds out he's down there. Just telepathically, he figures it out, and he just takes his big laser breath or whatever. He shoots his laser down all the way through to Hollow Earth, and then which let's just say you got to figure that's miles of Earth down there to the core.
Sure. Yeah.
And so he's pissed off, and all of a sudden they're just both looking through the giant Godzilla laser hole at each other and can see each other from like however far away that is. They're just looking at each other, making eye contact. Then King Kong climbs up through that hole in like all of 10 seconds. It's like not long.
Yes, sir.
And then he fights Godzilla or whatever. And then Godzilla hits him with that same laser beam that just cut through the entire Earth. And King Kong doesn't just die. It doesn't go through King Kong. It just like kind of bruises him a little bit. It makes no sense, the whole thing. But I mean, it was fun to watch.
Isn't that the point of you're not supposed to challenge it. You're just supposed to let it happen. You have to let
some stuff. Like
you have to let it wash over you that you're just watching this crazy ass movie.
Yes, exactly. But like you're also suspending some, like you're just like, all right, fine. I'm going in, I'm watching a giant ape fight a giant lizard, and like it's gonna be that. But you also want some semblance of reality in it. Like I don't want it to be so ridiculous that
seems
That's
like
why-
even this is ridiculous.
that seems like an unfair expectation of a movie that is about something that isn't real. You know what I'm saying?
They base it in reality by having like right-wing conspiracy theorist podcasters, like
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown. No, sorry, Brian Tyree Henry and Millie Bobby Brown would be like, they're like the Jordan Petersons of Kong versus Skull Island. They have like
There
really
was
interesting
also-
thoughts on like men.
There was
versus
also
women.
just not enough Coach Taylor in this movie.
No.
Just totally not enough given his role in the other movies.
Like-
Did they make Skarsgård evil in the end? Alexander Skarsgård? Because
No, he's
they
a good
love
guy.
Making, they really,
Yeah.
they love making that guy evil.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's kind of
Hollywood.
evil, but not that evil. He turns it around.
I don't really
Turns around.
understand Millie Bobby
It's a
Brown.
redemptive arc the whole time.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he ends up with the woman who's, I guess, not her mom, but like the
Rebecca
deaf
Hall.
deaf girl's mom. They end up together in Hollow Earth with King Kong just at the end of the movie, chilling.
What?
Yeah, they're like friends with King Kong, and they set up shop
live
down
like
there.
they can.
Oh, they
only
live.
They live alone with King Kong.
No, they set
Hollow Earth
up
and the
like
Death
one of
Girl?
their. They set up one of their whatever. I don't know, government
Research
agency.
facilities?
Yeah,
Okay.
down in the Hollow.
That's still.
It's
that's-
insane, Mark. It is.
That's a wild thing.
Yes.
I
No,
want a
it's-
sequel that's just checking in on the health of their marriage 1 year later because
Yeah.
it's in the toilet. You're not gonna know marriage is strong enough
And
to deal. Go ahead.
yeah, you don't have family. Like you've left your family on the planet. Like
But
How are they gonna
Kong
have-
is
they're
your
not gonna have
family now.
internet. You're not gonna get Wi-Fi in the Hollow Earth. What are
All
they?
right,
They're
Mark.
gonna
They're in the Hollow Earth. If they have the
in the
technology
Hollow
to
Earth.
get to the Hollow Earth, they're going to be able to get internet down there.
like a Wi-Fi booster. I
Yeah.
guess.
Also, if need be, King Kong can just climb you out of there in 5 seconds. We've learned that. So
Oh, I guess that's true. I guess they can come back. It just
now
seems
that
like
he's
a
good
pretty
guy.
feels like a pretty big move. I don't know.
It's a ridiculous movie. It's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good.
I was
It's
saying like a residential move for that couple. I think
Oh.
it's a big move.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that movie.
Cool. Glad I got that off my chest.
All right, let's do some basketball. Let's
You
turn
got
a
it.
little bit.
Fine.
Murray towards ACL.
All right, Jamal Murray
Yeah.
tearing his ACL is brutal because the Nuggets were pretty unstoppable since getting Aaron Gordon. Like they actually were pretty damn dominant, and I actually thought they might have a chance at coming out of the West. Now I am not so certain.
Just gotta check in on the NBA standings right now. Because
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it does suck super hard for the Nuggets. Then the 4 seed. Okay.
Jazz, Suns, Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, Blazers, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Spurs, and Warriors. 'Cause top 10 seeds, the 7 through 10 do the play-in. And then in the East, Sixers, Nets, Bucks, Hawks, Heat, Hornets, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bulls.
and
The
Yeah.
Bulls, they traded for Reeves. They've been terrible still.
so at this rate, the play-in is in about a month, right?
Yeah.
Or is it at the end of May?
So the
Yeah, when does that start? These are all things
end of the
I should've
season.
looked
When
at.
does the season end? There's only 20 games left or
Yeah.
so. Yeah. So
Well,
2021.
figure 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, whatever that is.
that's soon, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
That is super
The
soon.
play-in tournament starts May 18th. So literally a month and 5 days.
Which
Wow, that rules.
which makes Denver losing Jamal Murray super tragic because I still think 21 games is a decent amount. I mean,
They'll be fine without him. They'll maintain top 6 status, I think.
but they're not.
Jokic, Aaron
I
Gordon,
don't know.
Michael Porter Jr. is playing super well this year. I think they'll be okay enough, but they're obviously kind of screwed. They need a guard to get bought out or something. They need something to bail them out.
Yeah, but that won't happen.
Sure.
Even
Probably
that, I
not.
don't think it'll help them. They have Monte Morris, who's pretty good.
The
So,
thing that sucks
oh,
even
yeah.
worse is that not only do they lose him this year, he's going to miss maybe potentially all of next season, depending on how his recovery goes.
Is
Oh,
that
Most
yeah.
of, most
Well,
of.
you brought this up. We were texting about
Alright.
that earlier.
9
don't know
to
if
12
it's gonna be-
months.
I think I did my own research, and I'm seeing 7 to 9, depending on.
Okay. Well, even
So,
that's a good chunk
It's a
of season.
catastrophically tragic injury. For
And that's assuming he
him and
comes
the
back and
Nuggets.
looks immediately like himself, which we've all
Also,
seen
Fred,
does not happen.
Spencer Dinwiddie tore his ACL and is about to come back for the Nets. He joins us
Well,
early
they
in the
say he could come back, and he's ahead of schedule, which I don't think you can count
Spencer,
on.
Spencer Dinwiddie himself said he's going to make a return this year.
Yeah, but
That's classic
I
Dinwiddie.
feel like that's just what players say. Like, yeah, I'm coming back. Like, obviously, they're gonna want to come back, unless you're Kevin Durant, who's just like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna punt on all of last season. Like, I don't know why.
He's
I
going
feel
off
like
on Twitter these days.
he is just picking fights left and right.
Oh my God! Can we please talk about the Michael Rappaport thing?
There were no winners in that fight. No
Oh,
winners.
I disagree.
I can't believe Michael Rappaport cried on live TV.
Who
But
wins?
did he cry about that?
Yes. He was like,
Really?
Grant said some mean things about me, and he started tearing up.
Fuck that tool. Fuck that tool.
He's,
Fuck Michael Rappaport.
he's the worst. He's absolutely the worst. But
look-
so is Kevin Durant.
Okay, yeah, he used some like homophobic language.
He
and,
definitely did,
That's
yeah.
not good. But my takeaway is that Kevin Durant is like a petty, real guy, and like his Twitter burner suggests, the fact that one of the greatest basketball players ever, and like a top 4, like good basketball, like best basketball player right now alive, and and he's had just an unbelievable career. He's amazing. The fact that that dude is just like getting into random Twitter fights, like has multiple accounts to just sit on his phone when he's a millionaire, like set for like he's
But
100
that's the
millionaire.
thing.
with all
Like,
the-
it is hilarious, but he's
it's
also
awesome.
such a loser. Like,
no, I love
for
it.
all
I
the
love
reasons
that.
you just said, he is.
Matt, what do you do right now? You go to work.
Yeah,
You sit around.
you get angry about the
I'm
Knicks.
a loser. I'm a loser who goes on the
Yeah.
internet and tweets and
Yeah,
does stuff.
and
I'm
He's
gonna
Kevin
isolate
Durant.
that.
Like
I'm gonna
us.
edit that one clip and just
That's it. Yeah.
anytime I need to throw that in your face, I just get Matt going, I'm a loser. Me.
Oh God. It's true though. I mean, he's Kevin Durant. He's a millionaire, but like Mark just said, one of the best players of all time. Can literally do whatever he wants with his time. Like,
I
dude.
love.
Also,
and then
like, if you're that good, also be a little more secure about yourself. Like, to feel the need to
Disagree.
go on and just fight with random internet gremlins, like, stop it.
look,
Why?
I've shat upon KD a lot, like for going to the Warriors. That being said, in my eyes, I'm a Kevin Durant fan after this. I think
But he can't really
that's a
win.
brand of man that I truly can back. A
He can't
homophobic
win in
language
these
aside, I'm not
situations,
condoning
though.
that.
He can't win
No,
these.
he won. He won.
Well,
he won.
not against.
New-
All right, I'm
new
gonna
fans.
say forget about Michael Rappaport because
But he-
everyone would beat him. He's a
Sure.
You got
loser.
it.
Against like random strangers on the internet, like nobodies.
I think it's cool.
Arguing nobodies, like what do you gain from
Kevin
that?
Durant, he got into it with Shannon Sharp today.
I know he did.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
saw
also
that.
Shannon Sharp's fault.
Yeah,
He attributed some quote that Kevin Durant did not say to Kevin Durant on live TV, and
I think
Durant
it
was like, "What the
was-
hell?"
I remember reading it and thinking to myself, like, no way Kevin Durant actually said
No,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
Team
it. Also,
KD.
like, I'm not team Shannon Sharp either. Like, I have no allegiance to Shannon Sharp.
I also-
My thing is more like,
After
go do
being-
anything else.
After being a real functioning adult, and I can imagine Shannon Sharp sitting at work and someone puts that quote on his desk and is like, you have to talk about this. I'm sure Shannon Sharp was like, do I really? And they were like, yes. And he was like, I could see that. Someone's on Shannon Sharp's back about talking about that. It sells stories. It gets viewers, right? Like,
but isn't there a level of due diligence for ESPN to?
It's or
on
Fox.
Fox Sports 1.
But how do they not fact check that? Like, he can't just show up to work and whip that out.
Yeah, some producer is definitely getting fired or on the hot seat for that for
For
sure.
sure. Yeah. But
So
still,
yeah,
like,
to Luke's point, he was definitely he was given that, but it's also then he has to he's like in character
right.
as Shannon Sharp, playing Shannon Sharp.
Well, that's why when they were fighting, Shannon Sharp was like, "All right, let's take this offline. Like, I'm not fighting with you about this
I'm sure-
now."
I'm sure
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp offline would be like, look, bro, someone put that on my desk. I had to,
Yeah.
had to use
For
it.
sure.
Just have to-
Sorry,
But
I was-
Durant's like, "No, I'm gonna embarrass you publicly."
I think that's also cool. I think that's awesome. I think like if Kevin Durant wasn't in the NBA and he was just playing pickup, and like it would be cool that he would just like trash talk you and destroy. Like I think that's honestly
If Kevin Durant was
cool.
just playing pickup at the park, you think he'd be this good? Imagine if it was like a normal ass dude. It was just like a tall, skinny dude. And he
Well,
was
no,
like,
but if-
okay.
if
So
he was
Mark, you're
sick-
describing Mark.
Sure, but if I was like sick at basketball, and trash, like I think trash talking is what, like I'm bummed that it's not as prevalent in the NBA, that they don't allow it as much. And I think It should be allowed. Like stare downs after dunks should be allowed. Like both
Totally.
like
Yes.
Schroeder and Kyrie both got tossed in that Lakers Nets
Yeah.
game for no reason.
Yeah,
Like
it's ridiculous.
I also think trash talk, and then you back it up like it's way cooler, and then you should be allowed to go to further extremes. If you're fighting with someone and like dunk on them, you should be allowed to step over them, stare at them.
100%.
Yes,
Shit on their
100%.
chest.
That
Yeah.
said, though, like there's a huge difference. Like Kevin Durant, yeah, if he does that on the basketball court when he's just dominating fools, yeah, that's sick.
I think it's
Him
cool.
again, him doing that to like random gremlins on the internet is like, what does he gain from that? It's not cool.
Think about how heartbreaking it would be if Trae Young absolutely sauced you and then he like stepped over you. I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, you're balling and you can't even say some words right. So you got
Well, it's like that.
He's hideous.
It's like that Shaq dunk on what's his face? That Nick. I'm forgetting who it was.
You like shove
Yeah.
that guy.
He literally
It was
dunks on him and
so
like
funny.
rubs his nuts in the guy's face and
And
shoves
then
him.
shoves him.
Yeah. And then like he just gets up and chucks the ball at him. It's
But the throw was awful. Like I understand that dude
Yes.
being pissed, but his throw went nowhere. It was a shit throw too.
it was on what's his name?
Draymond Green. Donovan Mitchell's pretty
It was on Chris Dudley. That guy.
Hell yeah. it
Just
was.
known for
Hell
getting dunked
yeah.
on.
Luke, what did you say about Don?
Donovan Mitchell gets pretty emotional out there on the court. He slapped Jaylen Brown the other day. Jaylen Brown was like, "Tech him up."
Also, Luke,
Oh yeah.
when are you going to change your opinion or your take on Donovan Mitchell? He's so freaking good.
Yeah, he's nasty.
I will never change it. I think they're like, I don't think Zach LaVine is as good as Donovan Mitchell, but Zach LaVine is more valuable than Donovan Mitchell just because Zach LaVine's 6'6".
Interesting.
Disagree.
I disagree. I know what you mean, like having wings, like a more
Like I can
physically intimidating player is more valuable, but like
Donovan
not in
Mitchell-
those two players' cases.
Donovan Mitchell is so good, and he's leading his team to have won 75% of their games. Like that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I think we discredit the impact Rudy Gobert has on the defensive end.
I agree.
Oh. I'm not in on Gobert.
I mean,
Fuck
I'm not,
Gobert.
But like even so, like
they have a really
I'm not
good
in on
team.
Gobert, but he's good.
Like if
But there's
I,
Anyone
plenty
be
of
happy
guys-
if their team gave Gobert a max contract? Would
no,
anyone be like, thank
I
God?
would be like
thank God."
vomiting if I
No.
did that. Yeah, no.
He's in this
But-
awful place of where not a max, but you can't give him less. But he's like, I mean,
Isn't that
he
yeah,
would have
he's
walked
sick
if they
for that.
hadn't paid him.
And isn't that the nature of small market basketball, especially in a place like Salt Lake City? Like you have to try to keep people.
And I mean,
Crazy,
to their
like-
credit, it has worked. Like they do look good. He's a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year again, which I still think Ben Simmons should win. But like, I don't know. It does, in general, make sense. Sorry, I distracted. My mom just got home.
Hey, Mom.
Leaving this in. I'm not gonna edit this out.
So yeah,
I'm a loser. That was the best.
I'm
Yeah, the double thumbs.
yeah,
the loser. Kevin Durant, you think you're a loser, buddy? I'm the loser.
literally, yeah. No, comparatively, the guy
For
who's
sure.
a multi-time NBA All-Star MVP versus the guy who's recording a podcast with 10 listeners in his parents' basement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
comparatively, yeah, I'm a loser.
I think. Do you think that we could get you into a fight with Kevin Durant
Yes,
or
absolutely.
one of his
If I
Let's
just
do it.
if I tweeted
do it.
if I tweeted at him as angrily as I tweet about Alfred Payton, he would answer. Alfred Payton.
Yes.
Wait, you know what? Let's get the hoop troop. I'll do it from the hoop. I'll do it from the hoop troop account. Let's just see if we can get blocked by Kevin Durant.
That
I
would
guess-
be awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah,
free.
I don't
That's
wanna
free
get
press.
Kevin Durant. I wanna-
Nothing
I
ends
wanna
well.
fight and gain reputation.
Nothing ends
wanna
well for the people who take him on.
Oh no, I mean I'm 5 blocks south of Barclays. He's just gonna come here and kill me in person. Like when he was like, meet me at the corner of whatever, like to Michael Rappaport to fight him in the street.
It's insane.
Kevin Durant is going to find me in Brooklyn and choke me out. And honestly, and no one's gonna stop him. Everyone's gonna be like, this is fine. This is fine.
It's a hard time for people, and I think Kevin Durant's just going through it.
Or what if we take the other stance and the hoop troop hovers around like kind of like a vulture?
Mhm.
We look for the kill. We look for Kevin Durant absolutely slaughtering someone on Twitter, and we like join the bandwagon and gain his respect, and we like tandem.
Oh, so we're like his Flavor Flav.
I just don't think
He's
he's
hype
gonna
man.
notice that an account with 10 followers is like liking and retweeting him. I just don't think he's
Except
gonna
he
feel that
might because
impact.
he's such a weirdo who's
Well, he
apparently
would
just
feel it
swimming on the internet.
if I keep tweeting, hey, you suck, man. Like, you're
He
a
would
huge.
see it.
He would
He'd
see it.
Absolutely.
He'd see it.
That's like
I
when
can get the hoop troop block.
my dumb
Like Kevin
video,
Durant.
my dumb video jumping out of an airplane to try and get him on the Knicks a couple years ago. Like, there's no way he didn't see it.
That's shut up. No, he didn't see it.
He
No
definitely
way,
saw
no.
it.
No, absolutely not. Like 1,000 people at most saw it.
No, it got like 35,000 views.
Okay, but you think Kevin Durant is among those 35,000
Enough people tagged him. I think yes. I think absolutely yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, you know what? From the hoop
Let's
troop
ask
account,
him.
I'll tweet it. I'll tweet that video at him and say, "Hey, Kevin Durant, you ever watch this? And what do you think? What do you think? A guy went skydiving and had you on him while skydiving, as if that's some sort of symbolic gesture that's really going to move you. If you did something, if you had it tattooed on yourself and then you free soloed El Cap like my boy Alex Honnold, maybe he would take notice at that. But just doing like, it'd be like I rode go-karts for Kevin Durant. I played skee ball.
I think
for
jumping
Kevin
out of an
Durant.
airplane is far more dangerous than riding go-karts and playing skee ball for Kevin Durant.
Is skydiving that dangerous? Like that's a fun time activity.
More than
do.
go-karts. One of them's on the ground.
I would be willing to bet that more people have died in go-kart related accidents than in skydiving related accidents.
I want
you $5 on this.
I'm crunching the numbers here. So
wait. But just Matt,
Mark. I'll bet that more people have died.
Let's go by 2019 because 2020 stats aren't going to be accurate because of COVID.
Oh, in just the year.
In 2019, did more people die in skydiving accidents? So not including like plane crash, like in things where they intended to jump successfully with a parachute out of an aircraft.
Okay.
I think that more people died in go-kart related accidents than in skydiving related accidents.
The first thing that
like in recreational. Also wait, hold on. Also not base jumping, not like extreme sports people who are base jumping. Like this is like tourism skydiving. Like people, not like extreme sports people
so basically
who are doing it every
people
day.
like you and I who went to go-kart or skydiving.
Or like you who literally went skydiving, like that level of skydiving.
My guess is you might be right. But that doesn't necessarily make skydiving not dangerous. I think there's probably more precautions taken for skydivers than for go-karts.
Sure. Well, that's the thing. And when you get complacent, that's when lives are lost.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Michael, you find anything?
Pretty sad, actually. I would recommend against Googling this stuff.
Right, so we're not going to get an answer here.
No, wait.
All right, here we go.
Take it to a dark place.
Here we go. Well, this data is pretty stale. It is
2019.
This is total.
I just don't want to use 2020.
Each year from 1985 to 1996.
All right. What do we get then?
Well, in 1996, let's just try to apply this like human population growth. Like it says 19,500 people died from go-kart accidents in 1996.
That is even higher than I thought.
That is much higher than I thought.
You're not crediting the technology improvements in the world of go-karting.
Well, it was 96. That's true, honestly, like safety for sure. Also, Clinton was president. Everyone was distracted.
There are no rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Go-karting is pretty dangerous. The headlines from this are horrifying. I don't even feel good. It's scary.
All
right. Now hit me with some skydiving stats. I'm sure these are honestly more readily available, but I'm glad to know that in the 90s, at least, go-karting was no walk in the park.
I'm looking through Twitter.
Among the almost 6.2 million jumps performed by.
I can't tell if he froze or if we're just waiting here.
Sorry.
Wow, I thought he froze. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Among the almost 6.2 million jumps performed by 519,620 skydivers over 10 years between 2010 and 2019, 35 deaths.
That's a lot, man.
35 versus 19,000 in a single year.
But again, I don't really know what I was reading on the internet about.
Okay, I feel like that's a wide enough.
Were mine also
disparity.
in 96? I feel like more people are skydiving now than then.
3,000 injuries and 35 deaths.
I mean, injuries you could easily you're still coming down pretty fast. You could roll an ankle. You could,
I also think per
Odds of
capita there
death.
are more go-karters than skydivers.
Article from May 25th, 2020. How safe is skydiving? Statistics show that there's one tandem skydiving fatality for every 500,000 tandem jumps, which make the odds of death 0.000002%. That's the death.
All right, so whatever. Go-karters die a lot. Just don't go-karts.
Well, I mean, is this that hard to figure? Like, you can move 20. I don't know how fast does a go-kart get? Maybe not 20 miles per hour, but taking an impact at 20, you're not in an enclosed car. Going from moving 20 miles per hour to going to 0 is a major collision.
Yes.
And also you're not, and then some idiots not wearing, also think about how often drinking plays into go-karting. I would never get in one sober. So you're forgetting to wear a seatbelt, you're drunk, you're crashing, you're ramming it into your, if I saw
is that a
Tim on
DUI
the
somehow
street,
if you get pulled over from that?
if you take it off road, if I drove it in the streets.
You know way too much about go-karts right now. I feel like this
This
is
is
close
an
to
ad.
home.
We've been
Like Mark
sponsored by.
definitely knows.
This is actually a predetermined argument Mark wanted to have on the
He
I had
knew
this
he's
cooked
been
up.
yeah.
No, but it's also, I see Tim on the sidelines and I'm drunk and I rammed him with my
Well,
go-kart.
right. That's justified. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, no, that's just a fantasy of mine.
All right. Anyway.
Sorry. Yeah.
I want to mention how I owned Matt this week, talking about basketball when we did start bench cut.
Oh, well, I don't know that you owned me.
I have a tough time with that one.
Matt thought Anthony Davis was a better 3-point shooter than Embiid. Embiid statistically is a better 3-point shooter.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I
would guess true. I would guess it over time, but Davis last year was shooting the ball extreme, and especially in the playoffs was shooting it really well from 3 and really confidently. And his shot has gotten better through his career. Right now I would rather have AD shooting. I know I'm a homer, but I'd rather have AD shooting that 3.
So in the start bench cut of Jokic, Embiid, and Davis, I think you definitely keep Jokic. I don't know if you're going to start him. You probably would start him, I guess. I don't know.
Just
all 3, those are so good.
They're so good. It's hard.
I really don't think there's a wrong answer, honestly. I understand the case for
Embiid.
I don't know.
I think you got to go with Jokic and
Embiid.
Davis.
Embiid.
Why? What's your reasoning?
Embiid is the most dominant big man in the league. I would much rather, if I had an Embiid Anthony Davis matchup in the finals, I think Embiid would win that matchup.
So in this scenario, and it sounds like we all agree that we're keeping Jokic, then how is Embiid the most dominant big man if you're taking Jokic guaranteed?
I don't consider Jokic to be a big. I consider Jokic to be more like a ball handler or a wing or something. He plays in the post, but he's not necessarily a big. It's just not how he gets utilized.
But defensively, for sure.
He
doesn't really play defense.
Also, I would argue Davis is better than Embiid defensively, right? Are we all in the same? Davis is
because he has the flexibility. He definitely he can go.
Embiid's
AD's more, and he's quicker, so he can kind of switch in the perimeter sometimes.
This might just be recency bias too, but something that's cool, and you get to know players that you didn't normally watch. Anthony Davis was never in the playoffs with the Pelicans, but because he was,
and he dominated
for a series.
Yeah, I mean,
I think multiple. I mean,
he had multiple series, but they never went far into the playoffs.
The point is, I had not watched so much Anthony Davis basketball like I did in this playoffs and then in the championship. He is so freaking good. I would pick him over Embiid, and then I would also pick Jokic.
The funny thing is, you can't even I would normally make the case for whoever's less injury prone out of Davis and Embiid, and you just can't. They both get hurt all the time.
I would say that Davis is less injury prone, honestly. Where it's signing Embiid, building your I don't know.
They both miss extended time every season.
Yeah, but as long as Embiid's around for the playoffs and he plays through all 7 game series, as long as
can't you say that for both of them? I just think it's not. the health concern, it applies to both of them. Like I can't necessarily rely on either of them to be healthy no matter what.
I mean,
So I would take Davis just because he's more versatile defensively, and I guess offensively as well too. You can put him at the 4 or 5 depending on your matchup. Whereas Embiid, you're just he's a center.
you can put Embiid at the 4 on offense.
It'd be weird. Who would you
That
put
would
up?
be
Who
weird.
would you have that you'd put
Also,
at the
there's
5?
any opposing team is going to put a center
Yeah.
on him.
I think the reason Embiid doesn't make the cut for me is because, he might be the most dominant big in the league, but he's the most dominant, like, traditional big. He's pretty traditionally big.
I think you guys don't watch enough Embiid.
I don't. I do not.
He plays like Jason Tatum, but he's 7 feet, 285 pounds. He does. He really does. They work out together over the summer.
He has definitely improved his ball handling, and like he does hit some step backs, but no.
I would not say that
You're giving
Embiid
him
and
far too
Jason
much
Tatum play
credit
the
as
same
like
way.
He's not running pick and rolls. You're not putting Embiid as a ball handler in a pick and roll, but you get an ISO situation with Embiid on the wing. He's literally Jason Tatum.
He has been playing well in ISOs, but to compare him to Jason Tatum,
I just think it's the weirdest comp ever. Like, I don't see it.
I know what you mean in that, like, yes, he has definitely worked on his game a bit, and like mid-range jumpers, he's kind of hitting more consistently, and like step backs and crap. But like, he's not a wing. He's just not the same as Tatum.
No, again, you're not running him as a ball handler in a pick and roll like you can with Tatum. That's what makes Embiid a big. But when you do isolate Embiid on the wing, you get him a 18-foot post up. Like, he's dangerous from right there. He could just face up and hit a jump shot. He could face up, bully you down into the paint. He could just face up, bully you. Like, there's no stopping him. Like,
Davis does that too. There's no stopping him.
Yeah, it's similar.
Also,
but
Davis is mid-range.
Higher rate, and you also think about like Embiid is first in the league in fouls drawn. There's no stopping Embiid. Davis doesn't do that, and even then, Anthony Davis doesn't shoot the same percentage at the line that Embiid does.
Davis struggled from the line last year, but he's normally pretty rock steady. Like, I mean, like he's a. Also, the way that Davis was shooting mid-range jumpers, like all through the playoffs in the bubble, like he was automatic. Like he was shooting the ball extremely well through the bubble, and like he just like hasn't played that much this year, obviously. So I mean, who's to say he hasn't cooled off? But like he was lighting it up from mid-range and from deep. Like he was earlier in the season, he wasn't as consistent, and certainly with the Pelicans, he wasn't as consistent. But like bubble, Davis was an outstanding. He was really shooting it well.
Yes, definitely. I also, not to go back to last year and point out one of my atrocious takes of the Sixers will be better without Ben Simmons. Embiid looked like crap last year in the playoffs without him. Like
but yeah, that's different. And yeah, I just think Brett Brown was a terrible coach.
That too,
for
sure.
You put Horford and Embiid on the floor together.
Yeah, that was kind of destined to fail, but I don't know. Like, I just think if he was as dominant as we're saying he is, it probably wouldn't have mattered as much. They wouldn't have gotten swept.
But then you could make this like argument about Giannis.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, like if I need a traditional big, if I need a center, it's Embiid first. And
Davis kind of plays the 4. Like he prefers to play the 4. So it's all like
how they have Drummond.
Now, yeah, they got Daddy Drummond.
Well, I'm saying in a vacuum. Like I'm almost just saying like I don't know. You have to pick start bench cut. It doesn't matter like who else is on the team. It's on a hypothetical team. Like they don't currently have other people on the roster.
I really can't get angry at anyone.
No, either can I.
They're all like it's like personal preference. Like
it's like not like there's like a clear.
Well, like Embiid and Jokic were like MVP contender, or like Embiid was till he got injured, and Jokic is an MVP contender, and like I think Anthony Davis like could be one when healthy. Like so I don't know. Like it feels weird being like taking an MVP contender out of these three and being like, yeah, they're cut.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like pick your favorite.
It's subjective. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Well,
what else happened in basketball that there is to talk about?
Well,
Steph Curry, again, just going through the Twitter.
Past
Uh,
Wilt.
I sent that tweet about Steph Curry, where everyone's like, if Steph Curry's so good, why are the Warriors in 10th right now? And then the argument for Steph not being as great as guys like LeBron and people like that is like, I watched LeBron carry the 2007-2018 Cavs to the finals. I watched Russ carry the 2017 Oklahoma City Thunder to a 6 seed. I watched CP3 take a tanking OKC team to a 5 seed, not to mention Iverson in 01.
I do kind of love this. Like, he should be doing more with this team. And
should he?
It's funny though.
I kind of blame Steve Kerr, but that's a whole other issue.
Somebody made the comparison that he's like those weird Kobe Lakers teams.
Yeah, like the post Pau Kobe Lakers, like and like the post failed Dwight experiment Kobe Lakers.
Yeah. So it's just that weird thing where you have this incredible person on like a weird.
But Steph is like current Steph is so much better than that era of Kobe. Like the rundown, like post Achilles Kobe is like it was a pretty brutal last few years. But
well, I think that the problem too is that the way Steve Kerr runs their offense, like he hasn't changed anything since those championship runs, and clearly so much has changed with that team and the personnel and what they're actually able to accomplish. And like you need to evolve a little bit and adapt to your strengths, and Steve Kerr just won't do it. So like I think if they ran more pick and rolls with him and Wiseman wouldn't be the worst player in the NBA. Literally, the stats pretty much back that up. He's atrocious.
Wiseman's out now.
Right. Well, now he's hurt, but I'm just saying, leading up to this point, like their record could be better if they actually just steered into the strengths of their players. Like if you ran a couple more pick and rolls with that, like 4 more a game with the two of them, like I'm sure both of their stats would be higher, their points per game would be higher, and their wins would be higher. Like I just have a feeling you would get that. You would also change like trying to use Kelly Oubre in motion and like those weird passing plays they do, which he's clearly not good at. Like I just think Steve needs to change it up. Like Kelly Oubre's not Iguodala at like as far as basketball IQ goes. So like it's just one of those things. All right, Mark, you don't like you're
no, I agree. It's like it's very funny. Like Andre Iguodala is like a very like he's a great player, like a great career, great player, and like to be like Kelly Oubre is not Andre Iguodala. It's like Andre Iguodala was sick. Like Andre.
But that's the thing. Steve Kerr is using him the way he used Iguodala, and it just doesn't make sense. Same thing, I guess, with Wiggins, who hasn't been atrocious, but like.
But Wiggins
Andrew Wiggins
atrocious. Wiggins has always been decent. He's just not like when he got drafted first overall. Everybody was like, "He's LeBron. He's LeBron. He's LeBron," and then he just never lived up to that. Right? Like he had that same hype that like a Zion Williamson had, where it was like you expect him to be so great just right off the bat, and the fact that he's not averaging 25, 6 and 6 a game and leading his team to the playoffs every year, and making some tough playoff wins, but like you think he's a failure, but in reality, like he's a good, solid player. He's a starting quality player on any team.
Definitely. And I think my point was more like he has things that he's better at that Steve Kerr just isn't really using. Like he hasn't adapted from those teams that were good at one thing before. And now when your strengths are totally different, he's not really playing into them as much. And it's just like, that's kind of why they're bad. So as much as I want to slander Steph and be like, oh, he's not as dominant as, everyone makes him out to be because he can't lead this team to the playoffs. It's like, he's kind of hamstrung by the whole situation. Like, it's just not great.
Yeah. All right, moving on. I sent a video of Oklahoma City Thunder player, a rookie, Aleksej Pokusevski.
Oh yeah, Poku.
A couple step back threes, and I sent one of those highlights.
He is young he's the youngest NBA player. He's really bad, but like might be good because he's 7 foot and like can kind of move pretty well. But he's still bad. Like he is really inefficient. He just bricks shots.
He's got an unreal high ceiling.
Yeah, totally. And like it was really a low downside pick when there was no real risk there. Like why not take a shot?
Aren't those are fun picks? Like I don't remember the last time they had like a low pressure, like fuck it. If this guy doesn't pan out, then whatever pick.
Well, the thing with the Thunder is that like they weren't going to be good this year no matter what. They're kind of openly tanking, so it's like why not take shots? Like we also have 5 trillion picks until the end of time, so like why not?
The top of at the top of the lottery, if they get a top 5 pick, it'll be a safe, solid pick. They'll pick someone with a future, but I think they're going to do a good job of creating like a high variance type strategy where some of their late first rounders or their second round picks are just going to be guys who are like, this guy might end up being really great, you know? And they did that. Moses Brown, undrafted, he got a multi-year deal. He looked really great. So
Yeah. No, and like that's why, like you just take flyers on guys and you see what happens. Like you're going to end up drafting the guys who probably turn your franchise around with SGA. So it's like whatever. If you're gonna let Poku go out there and chuck up shots, like why not? If it turns out like that he's an absolute all-star, fine. That's sick, and it just speeds up your timeline. But if not, like what were you gonna? He didn't get drafted particularly early, so why not? I'm all for it.
also, I think he's a fashion icon now too.
I know. I saw that. His floral shirts and whatever. Just an 18-year-old making NBA player money. Ay, ay, ay.
He's 19.
Oy, oy, oy.
That's the dream.
Who cares, man?
190.
You don't want to have millions of dollars right now? I do.
No, I do. It's like, it's funny. It's so like, it was what an old man sitting on the board being like, 18-year-old making millions of dollars. Oy, oy, oy.
Okay.
What is? I don't recognize this world anymore.
Yeah,
Damn.
like you sounded
Damn.
like you were mad about it.
Yeah,
I'm getting wrecked right now. Yikes. I'm a loser. I'm a huge loser.
No,
What the hell did I say?
18-year-olds should be millionaires. I think it's cool.
It is cool. Damn. All right. Well, I just got bodied.
You've seen a whole
Fuck
lot.
that L bitch.
guys, I promised my friend in Texas that I would call, like reserve
course.
time to
Yeah.
catch up.
All right, we
Alright.
can wrap it up.
Keep
We can
talking.
do-
I'm
No, I mean we could do a part 2 later this week. We bill this as part 1. Give it a day or
We can just
so.
come back and record whenever we want. We feel like we're doing an episode. We just want to catch up. I like the fact that we talked about Godzilla versus Kong for 10 minutes today. You know?
Honestly, I think that's a strong section of the pod.
I mean, yeah. I think that people need to hear about it.
I'll say I came in with a lot of energy because I had to sprint here.
Yeah.
So my heart rate was through the roof when we started.
and Mark, in part 2, we'll have to talk about once we know that I'm like safe for my Florida jaunt, our tennis match.
Sure.
We have to
Yeah, of course.
that.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
dubbing it the new Wimbledon.
Yeah. So we'll have to get a walk in the park and a tennis match.
Yeah, sounds good.
Going.
I'm down. Matt, you were in Hope? You were at it. Oh, we should have talked about this. You were at a Knicks game. So how are you supposed
Yes.
to
Oh
tweet
my God, we
the
didn't even
Hoop Troop
talk about
account?
Yes.
Oh well, actually, we're still recording. I'll just leave this all in. This is in.
Yeah.
All of that you thought was not is in. You were at the Knicks. So how are you tweeting from the Hoop Troop or from the dishing and swishing account? Like, were you tweeting from that game?
No.
You were
No,
not.
I took a picture. I was like my seats were like close to Clyde Frazier, so I took a picture of him, but that was about it.
Oh, nice.
You
Yeah.
yelling Alan Hahn was the best thing.
Oh yeah, I was leaving the game and I saw Alan Hahn like in his studio, like MSG Studios across the street on the first floor for some reason on 7th Avenue. And I'm looking through the window yelling at Alan Hahn and he like turns and points at me and gave me a thumbs
Hell
up.
yeah.
So that was kind of fun. What?
How long were you yelling before you turned?
Once. Literally once.
Oh,
I was looking
okay.
through the window and I guess they must have just gone to commercial. So it was just good timing.
You go with.
So it was my other cousin, his boss, I guess, got tickets from work and just gave them to him. So it was like one of those things where you have to get a proof of a negative test, like a PCR test within 3 days.
Yeah.
I was also half vaxxed at that point, but it was pretty cool. Like there's no one within, they block off 2 rows in front of you and 2 rows behind you. There's no one near you. Like it's almost to the point that I think you could be in there without a mask and not get sick. Not that I would condone that, obviously wear the mask.
Sure.
but what
Well,
you
I
need.
mean, it's also, I mean, like,
increase the number of people in the stadium.
Yeah, like I think they probably could start to push it a little
that
bit.
pass thing, the Cuomo, was it fast pass? What I forget. what
The
that
Cuomo,
initiative-
forgive me for being bad.
Yeah,
edict.
have some vaccines and weed.
Yeah.
Which I got my first dose, guys.
That away.
I'm half in. Yeah,
Was
'cause
done.
it's one of
I
those.
get my
the
second on
pharmacy-
Thursday.
What are you?
Ah.
Mark, are you
I'm-
a gang type guy now?
Am I a Yang guy? No, fuck Andrew Yang. I'm out on Andrew Yang. Fuck that clown.
He's trying to give
But-
everybody free money.
That dude is such a fucking tool. Like, just like all his like New Yorker, like fake New York. He's like
Oh,
tweeting about
yeah, I know.
bodegas and like it's like it's so insufferable. And yeah, fuck Andrew Yang. Like
I
all he
saw
does is
that-
say
I saw
Mimi.
the-
He talks about Like he does meme shit, like meme. I'm not saying Emmy. I'm saying meme dash Y. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get. But he does meme shit, like talk about crypto and dump. Like fuck
Yeah,
that.
that's
He's
how you win
fuck that
elections now.
idiot. It is how you win. That's the point
He's playing
that
the
we've
game.
gotten to. He is playing the game. You
It's
don't
like
even have to
Elon
pretend
Musk
to talk
about
about like
Dogecoin. It's like,
God, fuck
go
Elon
buy
Musk.
Dogecoin.
Whatever. I can't get this angry. I can't get this angry at
Wow.
41.
Save this for part 2.
We'll save this for part two.
Take us home.
All right. Michael, have fun talking to your friend from Texas. All right, this is the Hoop Tree Podcast. Tune in for part 2 next time.
Mike's friend is Ted Cruz. He didn't mention that, but he's got a catch-up session with Ted Cruz.